What it do, Packer Nation? I'm Camille Davis coming to you on the Pack a Day Podcast YouTube page after the Packers 30-13 Sunday night football victory over the Seahawks. And if you've been a Packers fan for a while, like I've been a Packers fan for a while, whenever you see the Seahawks on the schedule, you get just a little bit nervous. But the Packers came out and established a tone early in this game. And from that point forward, just continued to roll. The Packers leaned on Josh Jacobs early and often in this game. I mean, that first drive set the tone. It set the tone. 10 plays on that first drive, 63 yards, if I remember correctly, before the Jacobs touchdown. Of those 10 plays, Josh Jacobs touched the ball on 9 of those plays, 7 carries, 2 catches. He just set the tone. And I think from that, the physicality that was established by getting the run game going in that first drive, you saw it continue on that second touchdown, second possession, second touchdown for the Packers. You get Dobbs on that slant, right? He keeps his feet moving through the contact all the way to the end zone. And I felt like they just established that physicality very early. And I love to see that from a Packers team who we have seen get off to some slow offensive starts. And even with that, second half, it dragged a little bit, right? There is still room for improvement for this Packers team, but Jordan Love finished the game 20 of 27 from passing the ball, 229 yards, 2 touchdowns, and I think most importantly, no interceptions. 4th straight game for Jordan Love, no interceptions. Love to see that from him because earlier in the season, Love was a little loose with that ball from time to time. So to see the decision making, to see him still taking the deep shots at that, he can do it. Watson a couple of times. Glad to hear that Watson should be okay. He said that he got a shin or a cleat to the shin. He expects to be okay. So that is some good news. The offense was able to carry, and even on the second half when they stalled, they were able to lean on the defense to consistently get those stops until Dobbs got his second touchdown to really kind of put the dagger in the game for the Packers on the Seahawks. And I mean, maybe I was wrong to start talking about the offense first, but it's just because they came out. Matt LaFleur, he wants the ball and he wants to score. No, I'm playing, but Matt LaFleur, when they've been winning these coin tosses at the beginning of the game, Matt LaFleur has been wanting the football. He's been wanting his offense on the field. And you can see why. Like, ideally, this is probably how he would want those opening drives to go. But the defense for the Packers, the defense, the pass rush was consistent in this game. And they were consistent, able to get pressure with bringing 4 guys. Like, the defense did a good job tonight. They had 7 sacks. I thought they might end up with 8 tying what they did against the Titans, I believe it was, earlier on in the season. But alas, they came one short of tying what they did earlier in the year. But it was consistent. It was consistent. And yes, Geno Smith had to leave the game in the third quarter. Sam Howell had to come in. But the Packers were getting that pressure on Geno just as they were getting it on Sam Howell later on in the game, even more so on Sam Howell. They saw an opportunity, really pinned their ears back. The score was what it was, which allowed them to be even more aggressive. Love to see that in addition to the 2 interceptions that the Packers got. Valentine dropped one. Just dropped it. And it's like, you got to catch that. You got to take advantage of it. You don't tend to get too many gifts too often. And the very next play, he actually gets that interception because the ball went right back in his direction. And this time he came up with it. So it was cool to see Carrington Valentine get that interception. I was yelling, get down, just kneel down. You in the interception or you in the end zone, just kneel down, just take it. Just get the 20 yards and go from there. But the excitement, I get it. And then Edgerrin Cooper, he had an interception, his first career interception. Man, it was good to have Coop back, y'all. It was good to have Coop back. He had the interception, but he was also able to make a lot of noise, just tackles, sacks, tackles for losses. He's someone who Chris Collinsworth during the broadcast made sure to highlight multiple times. And I want to make sure that I highlight Kingsley Enagbare because the Enagbare drive to end the third quarter, 3 and out for the Seahawks, 2 sacks from Enagbare plus a tackle there. Like, come on. Like, that was impressive stuff. I love to see how the defense stepped up. The 1 touchdown that the Seahawks did get, it happened right after I believe the Jacobs fumble. So the team, short field position, a little bit rushed. Again, there's room for improvement. It wasn't a complete game. I think the defense had one of their more complete games, because if you can hold this Seahawks team to 13 points and just over 200 yards, you take that. You take that day in and day out. Just overall, a good win. Felt like exercising a few demons in Seattle for the Packers. But then again, this is a young Packers team. A lot of these guys weren't on those teams getting their heart broken in Seattle or by Seattle. So, new vibes, new Packer team, and they're moving forward. 10-4 now. On the march now, 4 more regular season games to go for them before that playoff chase starts. They can clinch a playoff spot next week with the Monday Night Football victory over the Saints. Love to see that, just as much as I loved to see them do what they did to the Seahawks tonight. Listen, the Bucks beat the Atlanta Hawks in the NBA Cup. The Packers beat the Seattle Seahawks here on Sunday Night Football. Bucks, Packers beating the Hawks. It's in the bag for them. It's in the bag. So make sure that you are locked into the Pack a Day podcast on YouTube, as well as the audio side. There are some things on the audio side only. So if you really want to get your Packers fix, make sure that you're checking out the YouTube side as well as the audio side. So much more Packer coverage coming y'all way this week to break down this impressive win over the Seahawks in a game where the Packers left some money on the table. There is still room for them to grow, and for them to be able to put up 30 while holding their opponent to 13 and still having room to grow. You love that potential. You absolutely love it. So we're going to wrap up here. And as always, go Pack, go.